welcome to Wheelnerds. This is episode
211.
I'm Chuck.
And I'm Todd.
We're going to be talking about motorcycles.
And dove il mio gattino?
But, what? Cool.
La tua moto es in fiamme.
Why are you waving your hands around like that?
Ah, sono di nuovo fuori di vino.
I need an adult. What are you doing?
Oh, I was trying to speak Italian. I was getting in the spirit of the thing.
Why are you trying to speak Italian?
Well, you know how much I've been interested in Italian motorcycles.
Yeah, the Moto Guzzi. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got a Piaggio product.
You got a Piaggio.
Well, no, I didn't.
You got the MP3?
No, I did. I got a Vespa.
You got a Vespa?
Yes.
Did you buy Melinda's Vespa?
No, I did not buy Melinda's Vespa.
Okay, what did you get?
I got it's a 200 Gran Turismo from a friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What year is it?
It's an 07. So it's a carbureted 200cc Vespa.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's in keeping with Todd's standards. This is not a Vespa in a perfect state of repair. It ran well and then it started puking gas, which to me says the needle valve and the petcock are both toast.
Is it in pieces?
A little bit right now. I mean,
so you got three
moment.
bikes.
I have 3 bikes. They're a little mixed together.
Why did you do that with your hand?
That was the rubbing the forehead of the frustration. They're a little mixed together just now, all those bikes.
Are you trying to make a single bike out of them?
No, I'm not going to.
Frankenstein monster?
I'm not thinking a Vespa 200cc engine swap into a Strom is a good play.
That could be the starter.
Maybe. Strom engine's pretty big. Yeah, so the Vespa series, one of those ones that kind of fell into my lap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had my friend had been talking about selling it earlier in the year.
Okay.
And I talked to the wife about it, and we had set a strike price for it of, like if it's this much, then we do it, which was quite a low price. And
that came to be the price.
And it has come to pass in the fall. In accordance with standard tire procedure, it's the fall, and someone has a bike that's not super great, but they're willing to sell cheap.
And it wasn't in a box.
It was not in a box.
So you're already ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it needs the carb cleaned and new petcock and probably some new like fuel lines, but like we're talking about like a linear foot of fuel line and $40 worth of shit and half a day's swearing.
Okay.
So manageable.
Speaking of swearing, Where's the Strom?
All over the place.
What's the state of the Strom?
Fucked. F-U-C-T. Fucked.
Okay, so do you know what has fucked the Strom?
So after some conversation with Jason,
my mechanic.
Yeah, Chuck's mechanic, who's good people. So I talked with him for a bit, and he's as talky as I am, so it was quite a long bit.
Yeah, I bet. Oh my God, the two of you in a room together.
It was things.
How many days did that take?
Things got chatty. I'm not gonna lie. So talked with him a bit, and I said, okay, I explained, how like the score in the cam journal and the C washer thing that holds it up is mysteriously missing, and I'm thinking that's basically been smashed to bits and distributed around the head of the engine.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, it may be just a top end, but for what a Strom engine costs, you're approaching the same cost. And if anything is wrong with the bottom end, like if any of the rods have been, cranked or, or wrong, then you're way over what it costs for a new engine. I'm like, okay, that's kind of what I thought. It's like, yeah, okay, so I'll get back to you. So I'm waiting to hear back from Jason on how much this is going to cost me if I want to swap the engine.
Okay, he's going to try to find you.
Well, no, he actually said I'll have to find the engine, just I can ship it to a shop.
Okay.
But I'm waiting to see what the actual like labor quote on that's going to be.
Oh, okay.
Because with the engine and what I'm guessing labor would probably cost for this, I'm in the neighborhood of like a new Strom, like not a new Strom, but like an old shitty Strom like mine. Is like we're talking like almost the whole value of the bike at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
is the Vespa replacing the Strom?
For the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a bridge bike. It may be something I just enjoy and keep. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I mean, it's got a lot of convenient features. So,
Such as?
Well, amongst other things, I have an electric seat opener. Haven't you ever thought I would like to get into the storage under my seat and if only I could push a button to get into that?
No.
Well, worry no more. Because it has come to pass.
Do you have to turn the bike on for that?
No, you just have to have the little key there.
Okay.
Yes.
It
has the brown key and the blue key.
Is-
You use the brown key to program it with a new blue key, and then the blue key will open things.
What?
Yep.
So do you have to be touching the bike to open it, or is it like a remote?
The blue key has to be. I'm not sure if it's near or in the actual ignition.
Okay.
But if the blue key's right there, you can push the button and the seat will open.
Oh.
Yeah. Pretty trick.
That's kind of snazzy.
Yeah, and then it has a glove box that drops everything out of the glove box every time it opens.
As they do.
Yeah. Well, so here's the really funny part: is I would go to open the glove box and I open it, and of course so this glove box is in the cowling at the front of the Vespa, and it's just a big fucking door. And there's nothing holding it up except for like the actual latch.
Okay.
And so you push the thing to open the latch, and it opens up and it immediately falls over, and everything in the box fucking falls out. It's uniquely Italian. So here's the funny part. Do you know who has come up with a solution for this?
Mm-mm.
Would you believe Roger from Caribou?
Yes.
Because apparently Roger from Caribou has a GTS. And he got really sick of all the shit falling out of the glove box every time he opened it. And so he has a thing you can put in there that will hold it so it only opens part way, and you can actually put things in and out. It's his don't dump your shit out of your Vespa product, I guess.
I guess you could do a couple screws and a bungee cord and
Yeah, you could get a similar effect. But, this is a nice little pocket with sides and all that. Yeah.
Are you getting it?
I'm thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Well, my touch-up paint fell out.
Oh my God.
I used touch-up paint the other day, Chuck.
For what? Your nails?
Touching things up.
What, your fingernails?
There's a little scrape. There's a couple scrapes on it.
Oh, okay.
And when you have a nice midnight blue Vespa, you don't want to have scrapes on it. That wouldn't do.
Who are you and what have you done to Todd?
I haven't seen him in a while. I fed him some wine.
You being concerned about how your bike looks.
It's a Vespa, man.
That's new.
It's a pretty rig. Very pretty.
Okay.
I'm like, chrome racks. Interesting.
Are you going to get matching gear?
No. No, I'm not going that far. Although the thing I am thinking about is one lady has a really cool, convenient top box that is made from a wine box, which just seems hilariously appropriate.
Oh.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Wine box.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Come on. Wine box on a Vespa? Huh?
The Todd I knew would do a milk crate.
You don't carry milk on a Vespa. You carry wine. Italian.
Todd I knew would do a milk crate and bungee cord.
You
sneer while doing so.
Wrench, ride like Vinny, wrench like Vinny, cargo like Vinny.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not in the market for a bike anymore. I know you enjoyed shopping for me.
I'm not in the market for a bike anymore either.
Oh, really?
And fuck you, Claire, for ruining it for me.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How's that?
Because I bought a bike.
Oh, good.
I did. Yeah, and you already knew about it because fuck you, Claire, for ruining it for me.
Oh, okay. All right. I was supposed to be surprised.
You were supposed to be surprised.
I was supposed to be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you pull up on tonight, Chuck?
I pulled up on a 2018 Suzuki Hayabusa.
And it is pretty.
It's black and red.
And it says spicy bean curd right on the side.
It totally does.
Spicy bean curd for all the world to see.
Except in real Japanese, it actually says Hayabusa.
Yes, which actually means a peregrine falcon.
Yeah. But I would like to get.
It would be pretty hilarious to replace that with spicy bean curd.
Yeah.
Just to fuck with people.
I would like to do that.
That would be an amazing improvement.
I want to go to a calligrapher and get the artsy looking kanji for it.
Mm-hmm.
Then just have that done.
Yep. Spicy bean curd. And then 90% of people will never get the joke, and the ones who do.
Yep. I just want to pull up some Japanese person, see that double take on their face. That would be awesome. But yeah, I got rid of the Triumph Sprint and got the Hayabusa.
Cool.
A brand new one, had 2 miles on it.
Wow. Okay. Which is good because let's be honest, the people test riding a Hayabusa are probably not the people you want riding a bike. Fine.
So this is a fucked up thing.
Mm-hmm.
Our local dealer, Moto United, formerly Honda Suzuki.
Mm.
I've been there, you've been there, Claire's been there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do test rides.
Sure, it's not their thing.
Not their thing. I asked for a test ride on the Busa, and they were like, "Yeah, when you're buying it."
Mm-hmm.
You tried it. Claire would have bought a
He would have bought a Wheelstrom.
A Wheelstrom. He would
Had
have
they
bought
let him
something if
ride
they'd
one.
let him ride it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
My friend Melinda, they let her test ride a Scrambler and a brand new SV650.
Jesus. Okay.
A Ducati Scrambler that was used and a brand new SV650.
Hmm.
They threw the keys at her.
Huh.
I went with her. She went on one day and then she was like, I'm going to come back the next day for the demo ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what demo ride? They're not going to demo you shit.
They don't
Fuck
fucking
you.
demo anything. They're like, we're a bike vending machine. Fuck off.
I'm like, fucking get in the car. We'll go right now. I'll go with you. We pull up. They had both bikes parked out front waiting.
What the actual screaming fuck?
Right? What the hell?
Parallel universe is she existing in? Holy
I don't
shit.
fucking know.
God.
They were like throwing the SV. They were like, please buy this SV. Take it for a ride. And it was, and they're, the salesman's like, so, normally I tell people, get on the highway, go here, but whatever. Just be back in like 20 minutes. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
What planet is this?
And he's like, we're Moto United. Tell your friends.
Uh-huh. So did they let you test ride the Busa?
No.
Of course not. That'd be ridiculous.
No.
Yeah, I unfortunately Moto United is because I know who they really are with a fresh name. They still stand it. They're still in my list of dealers. They're like, oh, who's a good dealer locally? I'm like, I don't know. Still waiting.
Watching the way they treat, and could be just the salespeople because I had a different salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
Also could have been the fact that when I walked in to buy the Busa, I was like, I want to buy the Busa.
Mm-hmm.
Here's money.
Mm-hmm.
Can I leave now?
Huh? Fair.
So I didn't even ask for a test ride at that point. I was just like, I want that bike.
You're just done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what the fuck?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
A brand new SV650. They let her test ride.
I don't understand this at all. It's baffling.
I mean,
like, I was at a used bike place and I pulled up on a fucking, sidecar rig, which like normal people do not ride sidecar rigs and normal people really do not ride my sidecar rig, right? Like,
yeah,
this is, you see me pull up on that, you're not like, oh, this is some chucklehead who's, never ridden before and he's going to crash it. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know.
I mean, I would have seriously like laid down a deposit on possibly one of the Wings or the Bandit had they let me ride it. But again,
right,
I want to fucking ride this shit,
right?
And make sure it doesn't suck. Or oops, nobody's ever serviced the brakes. Surprise!
And I'm just sitting here going, you're just letting her go and ride this shit? And he's like, yeah, these are the bikes she's interested in. I'm like, who the fuck are you? Where the fuck am I?
Damn, dude.
What have I been fucking smoking today? I don't know.
Wow. Bizarre.
The funniest thing about when I went to buy the Hayabusa
mm-hmm.
is I had 3 separate people at the dealership, the salesman, another salesman, I don't know, random people, the finance guy, all warned me, when you're pulling out a lot here, go easy. Because those tires are brand new and we've seen way too many people just bend a bike straight out of the driveway.
Did you just like stop at that point and you're like, look over there? Like what? See that Sprint? Yeah. That's what I fucking came in on.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't look like shit.
That's true. Right. It looks like an old shitbag bike.
Mm-hmm. I went in the other day and when I went back with Melinda, they had the Turbo Sprint parked out front
mm-hmm.
with the other used bikes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to the salesman. I was like, oh yeah, that's my bike. He's like, oh yeah, that old Sprint. I haven't ridden it yet. I haven't gotten around to it. I'm like, that bike has a turbocharger.
You're like, you need to get on
it. Like that bike has a turbocharger. He's like, it does? I'm like, yeah, that thing makes gobs of power. You should ride it.
Go give it a whirl. Comes back, he's like, I just want to see my family again.
But, yeah.
Okay, so, right, bike comparison, power comparison. And I know it's still in like break-in, so you can't hit the fun bits. You're not supposed to. But, so, Hayabusa power versus Turbo Sprint power. Differences. Because, I mean, theoretically, their peak is similar, right?
Right. The Busa feels a lot more torquey.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it idles just fine.
It doesn't dies a lot less often at stoplights.
It has not died at a stoplight yet. Very torquey, very confidence inspiring. It's like a flight attendant that doesn't wear panties.
So now, do you think the torquiness and the sort of like friendliness down low is what makes it so problematic for the up high part?
Oh yeah. And even straight off of a light, I have yet to leave a light or a stop yet without sounding like a complete asshole. Pretty much.
Every time. Every goddamn time, Chuck.
Yep.
That's with the stock pipe.
Yeah, with the stock pipes.
Pipes, yeah, that's true. Yeah, pipes.
And I'm like going as gentle as I can on that throttle, but I still sound like a complete douchebag.
And you are riding around in a Busa, so in fairness.
Yeah. But yeah, it's an amazing bike. It's
cool.
I've gotten used to the posture and the stance a lot faster than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be like dying for a seat change or Healy bars in the first week, and it's been all right. I've slapped on some tank pads.
Sure.
Able to hold on. Put on the givey, so it's been a commute vehicle.
I was surprised at how long it is, even without the giant swing arm that you will inevitably put on.
That's coming. Yeah.
Okay.
With LED accents and stuff.
Well,
of course.
Come on.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Duh.
Busa, right?
Yeah.
You need like a 6-foot long swing arm.
It's coming.
It's in the mail. You actually order it on the day. They wrap it right into the loan for you.
Yeah.
So you want the 6 or the 5-foot swing arm? I don't want to wheelie too much. I'm trying to, keep it tame. I'll do the 6.
I'll do the 6, yeah. I don't want to be a complete asshole.
No.
It's 6. Yeah, it's a long bike.
Yeah.
So you don't feel bunched up on it. Not like, what was it, the KTM Duke, Super Duke?
Yeah.
I felt crunched up on.
It's small, yeah.
Yeah, the Hayabusa, I feel pretty luxurious.
Almost spacious.
Yeah. Oh, it's very confidence inspiring. Oh my God. I see why, what's his name? Ben Roethlisberger went through a windshield. Let's
go fast. It's not a trap.
That's one of those bikes. I think you said this about the Bandit, where you get on the freeway and you go and you look down and you're like, oh, I'm doing 90.
Oops. Ooh.
The Turbo Sprint, you knew you were going fast.
Sure, yeah, because it's
wide, everything,
wailing.
Yeah. Buso's like very sneaky about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you sound like an asshole right from the start.
Right, yeah, right from the start.
It just keeps sounding like an asshole the whole way up. You're like,
well, I'm still an asshole.
I'm only on first gear. How fast could I be? Oh, 70. That's neat.
Ooh. My. Goodness me. Golly.
Golly gee, officer.
You see, officer.
I was in first gear. And yeah, that was why I was doing the wheelies. And I may have flipped someone off. It may have been you. That could have just me been waving in panic.
Yes. Help. This bike is going too fast.
Yes, it could have been me waving for help.
That was a binary 2. Too fast, sir. As you can tell, I'm a nerd. Please stop. Please be gentle with those handcuffs.
Please don't tase me, bro.
Unfortunately, you're riding a Busa and you're just waiting to be tased. They're like, well, tase this guy.
Yeah.
It's got asshole written all over. I'm pretty sure that kanji is Japanese for asshole.
Oh, maybe I should do that. Oh, it's up front.
Yeah, it's right out there for everyone to see.
But, I'm thinking I'm 46 years old. There's going to be a point where me buying a sport bike will look ridiculous. Why don't I buy a sport bike now?
Just own it.
Just
go big.
Get it now. And my wife's like, whatever you buy, I don't care. Just make it new and buy the extended warranty.
And the extended swing arm.
Oh, of course.
Why?
Duh.
It's right in the loan.
That's where I'm going to bolt the sidecar to someday.
Kids, don't bolt sidecars to your swing arm.
Unless they're 7 feet long.
Even.
It'll look badass.
Look up unsprung weight.
But she's way back there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right. There's other better options out there, though, for people who may be buying than the new Busa with the 6-foot swing arm.
I hear next year's Busa will have a turbocharger stock.
Oh, thank goodness.
Because fuck you, Kawasaki.
Yes. All right. First up, we have a 1972 Honda ST90.
I thought this would appeal to you.
They want $1,750 fucking dollars.
This was before I knew you bought the Vespa.
Yes. Runs good, has 125cc on it. No modifications to frame made. I have all the original parts too if you wanted to turn it back to stock. Needs headlight and taillight and some TLC.
But runs good.
Fast. There needs to be air quotes there. And off-road capable. Very similar to Trail 70 or CT70, but not as cool. Cash or trade, let me know what you got. Cars or bikes, running or not. Text for more pics or video. Yeah, this is a shadow economy item. This is not.
But it looks really nice for the shadow economy, doesn't it?
No.
It looks like something that would be cool.
It would be sort of cool.
I mean,
honestly, it looks like a Trail 90 that sucks to me.
Like a pit bike or something, you know?
Yeah, which, again, it looks like a Trail 90 that sucks.
Why you gotta be so racist?
Racist about it. It's a Trail 90 that sucks.
Because it's green.
Yeah, no. No, and like the my favorite part is the back tire is clearly really knobbly and
Did
the front is bald as fuck.
Did he put 2 ads for this bike?
Yeah, he put 2 ads for the same bike.
And he put a higher price on the other ad.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, and the one's 6 hours old and the one's 11 days old. This is the you need to get rid of this. Why doesn't anyone want to buy this?
Revising is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, you're into these.
Motorcycle.
Ah, you like those.
$2,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 1984 Honda Go Wing. Low mileage, runs great. Call for more information. $2,000, best offer, cash only. I am bad at internet and computers.
Well, in fairness, if you look at the guy in the picture, who is presumably Dave,
he is not good at internet or computers.
He's from a generation that is not especially good.
I don't know what he took these pictures on, which is why I grabbed this ad, but it is not a camera made in this century.
No. This appears to be like a cell phone camera from like one of those old Nokia bar phones. When the cell phone camera was a novel idea.
I thought it was just the one picture, but they're all like this.
Yeah.
They're all.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, old gold wings though. That's more your bag.
Yeah. I don't know that I do $2,000 for it. That's awful steep for a 1984 motorcycle.
I can't tell if it's clean or not.
Who can fucking say?
Picture's pixelated to hell.
You can't tell by the pixels? This looks like an 8-bit Goldwing. It's like too many colors. No, this is a 16-bit Goldwing.
This is
Super Nintendo era Goldwing.
No, wait, what was it called back in the early 90s? CGA, EGA.
Yeah,
Remember that graphic standard?
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yep.
Where you would wait for 45 minutes before you got the picture of Samantha Fox
boob.
topless.
Yes. I see a boob. Mom picks up the phone. Mom! God damn it! Yeah.
Almost had nipple.
It's terrible. Yeah, so, if you want a super pixelated Goldwing, I guess.
Yeah.
Retro graphics are cool these days.
$2,000? Too much?
Too much. Way too fucking much.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's got like the ugly, like pseudo, it looks like what might be the ugly tribal-y, like trying too hard graphics on it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, if it was just like a clean.
I can't tell if that's tribal or barbed wire.
I don't fucking know. Even
it's everywhere.
I mean, totally clean, running great, 1984 wing. $2,000 still steep. Maybe if the paint is perfect and the seat's perfect and it has all of the keys for the luggage and like everything is like nice and like the fiberglass and the luggage is nice, which it's not gonna be.
What scares me about this bike? Low mileage.
That is also a worry.
And it's like a 30-year-old bike.
Well, and at that point, my Vespa sat for a couple of years, and the gas just ate the shit out of it. It's new everything in the gas system. This, oh boy, anything fuel system in this with low mileage is instantaneously suspect. Anything rubber is suspect. I mean, on goes the list. 1970 Dnepr Russian BMW, in quotes, motorcycle with sidecar, $4,000 fucking dollars. OBO. Pictured with no front fender on it because that's what the kids are doing these days.
But the front fender's beside it.
It's nearby. It's for easy.
It's there.
Eventual theoretical replacement.
This is a collector's model.
Yeah. Accessories are partially disassembled. Motor and tranny are complete. And run. Sidecar needs bolting down. All parts, as far as I can figure, are included. Some might call it a basket case. Motorcycle enthusiasts call it a treasure if they are really stupid. This bike has permanent vintage license plates.
Because they are rusted on.
Yes, they cannot be moved. Tires are great condition, has spare tire included, lies and misdirection. Everything is there, just assembly needed. This belonged to my 94-year-old uncle. Or so we say. Yeah,
maybe that I think somebody would buy just to salvage the sidecar from.
Yeah, for $4,000 though.
Yeah, not for $4,000.
I mean, the folks at Cerberus had one that they got for like $1,000 that was, to salvage, like gonna put a Goldwing engine in. He had big plans for that thing. Probably still does. But yeah, no, for fucking $1,000
model.
Fuck you, it's a collector's model.
Vintage.
It's like a Ural that's shitty. And that's saying something. I say that,
I was gonna mention.
Well, I don't want something quite as crappy as a Chang, so I'm gonna get, but I don't want something quite as refined as a Ural. We'll do a Dnepr,
A Dnepr?
No. Let's go with no.
This is a 99 Honda Shadow. 1100, 26-inch front wheel. Vance and Hines exhaust needs some TLC.
Oh, imagine.
And a grenade. I would like to trade it for a LS1 Mustang 4x4 bike, motorcycle, bagger, lifted, boosted. Don't offer me no junk. He's trying to get into the shadow economy, but this bike
is not gonna quite make it. It's got speakers all over it. Yeah, so it's a customized Shadow with like the super show bike paint and the speakers in the side cases and on the frame and all. It's just fucking speakers everywhere.
He wants $1,234, which
that's not what he actually wants.
No, it's there. That makes it legal. He put it in Facebook. Okay. Legal.
Now it's in Facebook, huh?
He wants to trade it for something nice, but no. I have $1,234. That's my bike. I'll be
perfectly honest with you. If this thing runs, or even if the TLC it needs is like clean my carb, that'll be worth buying it for because you probably get some asshole to buy it for $2,000. You could sell this to somebody with like a receding hairline for $2,000 to $3,000, easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like that paint job.
Oh, it's fuck ugly. It is.
But he's got the bump and beats.
Yeah.
And as Roe giggles about.
And what do you
beats wait for no one.
What do you suppose the chances are that those side cases buzz like a motherfucker when the beats hit?
100?
Like the old shitty Civic with the license plate vibrating. You know the sound.
But
will
they catch on fire?
50-50. It's a Honda Shadow. The exhaust velocity is not sufficient to make anything catch on fire. It can't catch itself on fire. This bike can't catch a cold.
Oh. Don't offer me no junk.
Don't offer me no junk. Yep. Shadow Economy is coming soon. Available. Oh my God, it has arrived. Motorcycle, quote unquote, with sidecar. Quote on more quotes.
Generously
discounted to $877.
Generously labeled a motorcycle.
100cc Honda Mini Trail clone, aka Chinese piece of shit. Runs great, electric and kickstart, no title. Imagine. This thing is a blast. As in will explode. Low mileage, kilometers, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but think I'm ready to move on to something else, which is less shitty. Would consider trade for a nice dune buggy style go-kart. So this is indeed it's nothing like a mini trail. Oh man. So it's like a pit bike with a sidecar that appears to be made from the slats from like a deck chair.
The floor for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about that frame.
The frame might actually be welded. I'm trying to figure out where I've
Good.
seen the frame before. I swear to God, I've seen it before.
Or if someone did that.
Is it the bowsprit from a boat? Could be. Yeah.
Someone had a vision.
And they made this instead.
2 people on that thing.
You will eventually hit 30.
You think?
If you duck real low, you know, like, I mean, and I'm talking like way down low, like Lance Armstrong with the fucking like swoopy helmet kind of low.
And if the sidecar rider is
Favorable
pushing,
wind,
running next to it,
and slope. Wow.
Can't you just see that deploying out the back of an SUV though on the freeway?
No.
I think it would be hilarious.
It would immediately run out of gas and be run over.
It would be hilarious.
I can't.
It's like a life pod.
What possesses you to make this? That's the part that baffles me the most.
You've got a shitty mini trail Chinese clone and some parts from a boat and a blowtorch
And a welder
and a 12-pack of Bud Light.
Okay. All right. Well, the part that really gets me the most about this is like I can't see the up close pictures. But from a distance, like the sidecar looks reasonably well constructed.
Yeah.
And he actually has a 4-point attachment.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It is an odd looking thing.
It is a strange thing.
Yep.
I can't get back past the why. You know, like, I mean, what?
Someone had a vision, Todd.
Someone had a vision.
Someone had a vision.
And lo, it has come to pass. Yeah, the only thing it shows me is that somebody actually made like a genuine, like, kind of okay sidecar attachment.
Yeah.
The lower front one is a little too far back for my liking, but otherwise, like, it's a 4-point attachment. Like,
they had an idea what they were doing.
It might actually work, kind of.
Watch, Claude made this.
Yeah, it was Claude. He was drunk.
He was drunk.
And he's not proud of it.
Had some parts. He was young. He needed the money.
It's an experimental phase.
Next up, we have a 1981 Yamaha 650 special for $600.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, on the board, 600, by the way, as far as I can tell, is like the grand unified price of a UJM.
Mm-hmm.
That's like kind of like the where they land.
And I got $600. I need a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very good condition Yamaha 650 special. The engine turns over free, but does not run. And I have no title. She's very close to being a running machine.
Maybe.
Not stolen. Shoot me text. Make an offer.
Make a fair offer.
Make a fair offer. Like, go to the fair?
Your shit, no run. How does 300 sound?
Put it in the back of my truck.
How does 300 sound?
Count yourself lucky.
Yes. You can go buy some tacos. Yeah. This would be the, just, it's almost a runner. And, oh, by the way, how long has it sat? Long, pregnant pause.
You know what I really like about this?
What's that?
He's got a picture of a bike that's seen better days propped up on the seat.
Oh, yeah.
This is what it should look like.
I think that's actually the shop manual that he has propped up on the seat.
Oh, okay. Is that what that
Comes
is?
with a shop manual, which
Okay.
you will need.
You'll probably need to get it running.
Something tells me you'll need this.
I couldn't.
Yep. Yeah, it's just still got the...
Well, yeah, if it's the shop manual, then definitely that's a picture of a better bike that's seen better days.
One census. Yeah, apart from my dislike of UJMs and of buckhorns, which this one, of course, has.
Uh-huh. But Roundeye loves buckhorn.
I know, Roundeyes just buy anything with buckhorns. So it's got two problems with it. One is it's a twin-cylinder UJM. These were dying out at this point, right?
Okay.
Because the 4-banger UJMs had come along. The CB750 had come. Everybody's mind was fucking blown, right? And they were still churning these out, these two-cylinders. So these two cylinders were clones of the British bikes, which were at the time the least shitty bike. And then, of course, the 4-cylinder UJMs came in. British bikes were shit. Well, these are shit too. The Japanese made shit, so they're moderately more reliable.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still just crappy.
But buckhorn.
Buckhorns. I am intrigued by the buckhorns. I won't lie.
Just need some fringe, leather fringe on that.
Yeah, some tassels.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I could buy it. Yeah. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the economy, VW Trike, $1,800. This is a VW Trike from the Badass Trike Company. They're trying too hard. It has a new motor, new paint. It needs finished, put back together.
So is this not a picture of what it actually looks like at the moment?
I have a lot of questions.
This has a title.
Has a title and a VIN number.
I can start it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the plus side for this thing, this is probably the most interesting looking VW Trike. Like, it doesn't scream VW.
Right, it doesn't have the actual, like, literal back half of the VW.
You're right, yeah. Someone didn't just build a frame out of the back of a VW.
Slice the front off a Fiaro and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks like something that was...
actually constructed around the engine. There is a frame which was constructed around the engine as opposed to just like, welding some random shit together.
Yep.
So, good on them, I guess.
From the Badass Trike Company.
Yes, which I can safely say I've never heard of. And may in fact be made up.
We're not into trikes.
No, especially not this because it is my favorite, the Delta Trike. Which you already knew because it's a VW Trike.
Yes.
Because it turns out in order to make a VW Trike, what you do is you take the back ass end of a VW Bug and you put a front wheel on it. And you're done. Let's go home, everyone. Good job.
This one had some effort put into it.
It lacks a few noticeable things I'm going to throw out.
Okay.
Let's begin with brakes, which are conspicuously absent.
Yeah, this is like that old school chopper, no brake, no front brake.
This has no brakes.
There's got to be brakes somewhere.
Where? Show me where the brake controls are in it.
Somewhere.
They're not on the hands. There's no cables. They're not on the feet. There's no cables. There's no linkages anywhere.
There's got to be brakes.
Nope. This shit, not stopping.
Is that what she means by needs to be finished?
The VW train, she don't stop.
You put your feet down. You wear big platform boots, with cleats, put your feet down.
Seems brave.
Well, it doesn't go very fast.
That is true.
Really? Does it not have any controls?
I don't see any brakes or controls of any kind.
I mean, how do you shift?
There's a lot of questions I have in this type of situation.
There's something hanging off the left peg.
It looks like there's supposed to be a linkage there.
But it look
and yet, no linkage is present.
This thing, it really isn't done.
No, this isn't remotely done.
No.
I mean, there's not even linkage to the throttle. How do you make it go? Where's the go fast button?
Hopes, dreams, wishes.
Go, VW, go!
Wow. I'm really kind of curious about the story behind this thing.
Yep, I can start it. This engine runs. Great. How do you control it? You don't.
The motor, where's the gas?
That's an excellent question too, actually. Where's the gas tank? I don't see a gas tank. How do you gas tank? How do you even?
Is this a prototype?
I think that this literally can't even.
This is just, it just can't even.
Yeah, it can't even.
This is like, let's see if the motor fits in the frame stage of completion.
Yeah. Which, in fairness, the things that are left are not complex exactly.
But it needs work before it is.
Oh, there's a fair amount of work to be done yet.
Yeah. Jurassic World. 2016 Triumph Scrambler and helmet.
Is it a Jurassic World helmet or just a helmet?
Let's see. Do you want to chase raptors, Todd?
No.
Here's a gorgeous 2016 Triumph Scrambler in Pacific Blue. Same type of bike used in the Jurassic World movie.
Okay, step the fuck back. I was told this was the Jurassic World Scrambler and helmet.
Except in a better color.
That's not the one.
This is a great bike with low miles, 2,800. It is in excellent condition. No scratches, dents, never been dropped. This thing has been babied. It is mostly standard, except for the modified exhaust, which gives it more of a roar.
Doesn't count.
Selling it because I don't ride as much as I thought I would.
Imagine.
Yeah, you gotta give me that back.
Okay, wait, no, just stop for a second. So this is in Eagle Mountain, Utah.
Yep.
Which is like one of the exurbs. Like it's out in the edge of the fucking Great Basin Desert, as you can see from what's around it. Okay.
Right.
Like the only trees are the ones that are a year old that have just been planted when the subdivision was built.
They're in your yard.
Behind this bike, you can see the subdivision of homes. Do you want the square, the rectangle, or the L-shaped house?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This bike has no dirt on it anywhere. The tires have barely been ridden. This bike is sat since it was bought.
Yeah. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whenever you bought it.
Yeah.
I'd like to find it a good home, firm on price, no trades. I'm including an LS2 SC3 helmet in gunmetal gray.
As we know, those are high quality helmets.
$100 value. Size large. Like new condition. Used less than 5 times.
Imagine.
Features drop down visor and quick release chin strap.
This is like the reference case for the.
He bought this bike thinking he would like motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I get. And we're assuming he because the name on the ad.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, this is a I'm going with this the suburban guy who's like, I think
He
I
saw
like
Jurassic World and was like, I want to be Chris.
I want to be cool like that. Yeah,
I want to
I'd
do
be
that.
so cool.
Holy shit, this is scary. No.
God, this is hard. Holy fuck.
No and no.
Excuse me. No, we're in Utah County. Oh
Frick.
my heck.
Holy frick.
Holy frig.
Holy frick.
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 This is scary. I'm terrified. I should have taken a class from Todd. This all would have gone so much better.
I'm sure that's exactly what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's what
came out of his
Dad's
mouth.
Clearly. And he's like, I don't even know who the frick Todd is.
But I just know I wish I
should've-
had taken a class.
Yeah, from him.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically.
Yep.
That guy.
Him.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Well, the bike is in pretty great condition, and it hasn't.
It's pretty.
Yes, and it's fuel injected, so the sitting that long probably won't do it any harm.
Yeah, it's close enough.
It ain't good for it, but
it's
probably be all right.
Yeah, it's all right.
Has that really exciting Scrambler motor.
My daughter curses like a Utah. Should I be concerned?
Yes, 100%.
Damn it.
You mean darn?
Darn it.
Shucks and begorra?
She likes to say frick a lot.
Boy,
Frick. I'm all like, I know what you're really saying,
you know
but
that,
you're
right?
technically not swearing.
Yeah. So yeah, there it is. You too can go. Although I'll be honest with you, the fall purchases. I mean, I do more great fall purchasing in outside the city subdivisions than anywhere else. This is like Todd bike shopping time we're coming into.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I bought a bike this summer and I don't think I want it anymore. Oh, well, I'll be happy to buy that for bottom dollar. So I got the Bandit. Claire drove me
Of dollars.
Claire drove me way the shit out to a subdivision like this. And
Yeah.
I was like, gave the guy bottom dollar for it.
That is a pretty bike.
Here's $1. It's the bottom one.
Yeah.
It is nice looking.
Yeah.
I think he wants a little much for it.
I think so too. He's basically like, hey, this is brand new.
Mm-hmm.
Pay me.
Pay me like it is.
Pay me.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no.
100% doesn't work that way. But I upgraded the pipe. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
100% doesn't
No.
count.
Cares.
So, Chuck, did you know that I'm into motorcycle podcasting?
No, I've never figured that out.
Yeah. It's just a thing I do on the side.
Oh,
Not a
weird.
big thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you know there's actually other motorcycle podcasts out there
Really? That's
Yes.
weird.
that aren't at the pace?
The who?
Right. Take that.
Us? I think we're the
Oh, no.
grand.
Quick, let's see what the youngsters are listening to.
Okay, so we are on with Wes Fleming, a fellow podcaster. He's the digital media editor for BMW MOA. This podcast is called Chasing the Horizon, and he does some motorcycle tech videos called Nicht Uber Max, which I don't care how that's pronounced.
Your videos look like swiping a card.
He gave up a long series of CB750s to try out a BMW and hasn't looked back since 2001. He's dabbled with being a guitarist in rocket bands for 30 years and sucks at it.
Pretty much.
We all have our.
But he keeps
Crosses
riding
to bear.
motorcycles. Now you work night and weekends for BMW MOA, and you spend your days working for a cybersecurity firm
Yes, I do.
in
Neat.
Virginia.
Wow.
So he's a spook.
So I need to look him up sometime when I need a gig. Okay, check.
Yeah, I'm about the most far thing from a spook as could be. I'm more of an office manager.
That's what the spooks always say.
Yep.
As far as you know.
I'm just a normal guy with a briefcase. Nothing to see here.
Who's that? Oh, he's just a cook.
Wait a minute.
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah, wasn't that a movie, The Cook?
This seems familiar somehow. Yeah.
And all of Steven Seagal's movies are actually documentaries.
I long suspected. Hey, Wes, welcome to the show.
Hey, Glad, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Are you just excited to be on a podcast that you don't have to edit afterwards?
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, I've got some idea.
Pretty good idea, actually.
Pretty good idea.
200 and some episodes in. We've Chuck's been doing all the editing work lately now that my kids are at the age, but
and I'm not good at it, so I've got some idea.
Yeah, I pretty much I gave up after the first 4 or 5 episodes, and I just if they want to say and pop their lips, I just let them do it at this point.
Yeah, I just went full. I had the exact opposite effect. I'm not quite at Rose level from Project Archivist, but I have feelings.
I depending on what the sounds like, I'll leave it in. If it sounds natural and it's his chain of thought, then yeah.
Yeah, if it's
yeah, that's gay. Sure.
Yeah. You need a sexy to leave it in. Exactly.
Yes.
You are never getting to that. Just give
Hello.
So back to the guest.
Oh, right. Sorry, guest. Hi.
No, you guys go right ahead.
Proceed.
Working for BMW MOA, what is that like? Because I give you guys money.
And we appreciate it. I was just talking to one of my coworkers today, and I can be honest with you guys, right? Nobody else is listening to this.
No one else listens to this.
There are days that it's really, really great working for a big organization, and there are days that it really, truly sucks. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of great people in the MOA. But it's like it's kind of like the internet where the great people, you see them, you talk to them one time and you never hear from them again. And then the miserable people are the ones that you hear from constantly because they're angry and they want to make sure they're getting their money's worth. And, I'm part of the process that makes sure they're getting their money's worth. And sometimes it's really hard, but 90% of the time, it's an awesome job. I work with great guys, and we get to write about motorcycles and talk about motorcycles all the time. So,
but just BMWs, right? Because otherwise they'd shoot you.
Well, that's kind of one of the reasons why I started my podcast is because I love BMWs. I ride BMWs. I've been riding BMWs for 16, 17 years, and but I love motorcycles, period. And I like to ride motorcycles, period. And I wanted to do something that kind of, fit in with my job at the MOA, but still also gave me the opportunity to talk about pretty much any other kind of motorcycle. Because it's a big world out there, and not everybody likes sticky outy cylinders.
Sticky outy cylinders? I love sticky outy cylinders. Although, not the droopy ones on BMWs.
Right, you prefer the Gootsies that are perkier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, he won't shut up about Gootsies.
Well, unfortunately, all I can do is talk about them. I can't fucking see one.
Well, you guys come visit me in Central Virginia in Richmond. We got a Gootsie dealer downtown. They're fantastic.
I can't hear you. La 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 la. Well, if I end up in North Carolina cleaning out a flooded house, I will make sure to come now.
There you go. And there's actually a big Gootsie community here. They have a rally every year. Kind of more like a festival.
All 6 of them.
Yeah, well, it's a good number. And a lot of the guys in the local BMW club are Gootsie riders too. So it's a good community right here. Of course, they don't venture very far away from Richmond because.
And Todd's interest in Goozies just dropped a notch.
Ooh, what was that? I felt it slip. I mean, Piaggio had me with the pet carrier in the Vespas, but then it slipped again a little. BMW thing.
So I assume you guys live out west somewhere, right?
Utah.
Yes. So you can get pretty much anything you want except for the really exotic stuff.
Yes.
You mean like drugs?
Oh, no, I mean, like
Not bad.
like Guzzi's and maybe I don't know. Ducati is pretty pervasive in the industry. You guys got a Ducati?
Yeah, we got
dealership?
Ducati. We have Ducati, Triumph, and BMW all in one house.
Yeah, the exotics we can't get. The others, the primary brands and the kind of secondaries we can get, but the exotics, forget it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame. I mean, not that you would buy one, but it's really nice to go look at them and see what they're doing in person. Pictures never really translate quite as well.
Yeah, you got to feel it. You got to feel the engine under you. In the case of the Guzzi's, you got to feel it like try to knock you over if you rev it too hard.
That's a really good point. And I just listened to the last episode yesterday, and it didn't dawn on me before, but one of you guys has a sidecar rig too.
Yeah, I have a Bandit. We both have sidecar rigs, actually.
I've got a Euro, he's got the Bandit.
Yep.
He built it.
So I love my sidecar rig. I've got mine built on a K1200 RS, which is BMW calls it a sport touring bike only because it weighs 778 pounds wet, and you can't call it a sport bike at that level. But it came stock from the factory with 130 horsepower, and the only way to avoid getting speeding tickets on the damn thing is to put a sidecar on it.
Yeah. So what do you have?
It's a Hannigan Classic. It's just a normal run-of-the-mill sidecar.
Jealousy. Oh, so strong. Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
You have your stupid little trim buttons, too. I'm so jealous. God.
That's the best thing about it, especially when you don't have a passenger.
Oh, my God.
To be able to just reach up there with your left thumb and adjust the tilt.
Oh, nobody likes you.
You are killing Todd. This is amazing.
No, but
hey, okay, now in fairness, though, my unmodified steering with no trim thing, look at the traps I have. I don't fucking lift anything. I lift beers. Okay?
Right.
So, it has its advantages.
You have traps?
It's much less to worry about, right? You don't have to worry about some electronic thing going wrong. You don't have to worry about some mechanical, wizardry screwing up, and then you're used to using it, and all of a sudden your trip is crap now because your rig doesn't work right.
A fair point.
Yeah. I want to hear about the Bandit rig, though. That sounds very interesting. I'm a big fan of the Bandits.
You know how yours is when it's unladen, and it's like a little bit of a handful because it's a lot of power and not a lot of weight to keep the wheels stuck down.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like that all the time.
Oh, gotcha. What kind of sidecar do you have on it?
It's actually I got a Texas sidecar. It's a Texas Ranger, and the weird part is I got it from the son of Texas Bob. It turns out. So this was like the last Texas Ranger to be made. Yeah, it was attached to some shit pile old XS 1100. Which it turns out was Texas Bob's like ride for, God, forever.
Ride or die.
Ride or die. I promptly sold it to Chris from the Pace. So it's like making the rounds through podcasts. So if you buy shitty old bikes, it'll eventually find you.
Wait, do we have our own underground economy? Podcast economy?
I'm starting to think.
We might need to come up with Podcoin and run it through a cryptocurrency scheme too, just to really elevate it.
God, think of the tacos we could buy.
So how did you get into sidecars? What even brought you to that?
I always wanted to ride Urals. I love the way they look. I thought they looked super cool. And so we went out and took Vernon's class out in Hood River when he was still teaching them. My wife did better than I did because she didn't hit things with the sidecar like I did. But we were just hooked because it's like it's a totally different thing, right? Like it's yet a completely different machine you can play with.
Yep.
So, we fell in love with it. My wife is, like 5'3" on a tall day. And so a lot of motorcycles don't work for her.
Yeah.
Sidecars, no problem.
Yeah. I wanted something I could pile my kid in.
Yeah. That's a plus two.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I ended up with mine because my kid was, 8 years old and she wanted to ride. She was waiting until she was tall enough to reach the pegs. Mm-hmm. And 15 minutes into our first ride, she's zoned out. Sawing logs on the back seat.
Oh man.
And I'm a big dude, so I can't imagine we come off the bike and she's trapped underneath me, right? Yeah, and then I got to live with that for the rest of my 38 minutes before I kill myself. Mm-hmm. So I thought, hey, let's try a sidecar. We were at an open house at some dealership and there was a dude with a sidecar and I said, asked him, could my kid climb in the sidecar? He said, absolutely, sure. And
that's how it starts.
So now she can sleep whenever she wants. It's been almost 10 years and she still sleeps in it. My wife was a little tougher sell. She wasn't real excited about it because it's really low to the ground. Mm-hmm. And it was a weird perspective. She's used to riding on the back seat.
Yeah.
And she eventually got used to it too. And she likes to, she'll read the newspaper, knit, just kind of hang out.
Why is it every wife in a sidecar knits? Like Chris from Boxer Metal, his wife, she's a prodigious knitter in the sidecar. My wife is like, if there isn't a knitting thing within like 10 feet of us now, I will shit my pants. In fact, I can see one of the bins underneath the soundproofing full of yarn.
My wife knits, but she hasn't tried doing it in the sidecar yet.
Well, that sounds like a challenge.
That's how it starts.
She's gonna, yeah. Mainly she's still in the, she likes to sightsee in the sidecar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I don't take my wife anywhere exciting in them.
Oh.
There's nothing to see.
I use it for date night.
Yep. That's pretty much what ours gets used for. And then, then you use it with the kid. And does your daughter do this to you? Does she lean over and be like, Dad, you don't have to go slow anymore. Dad, it's okay.
She has never told me to speed up or slow down. Really? And I made sure I got her a helmet with a smoke shield so that I don't have to see any looks of terror. The only time she's ever complained about being in the sidecar was we started one day in Columbus, Ohio, and ended in St. Louis, near-ish St. Louis, Missouri. And it rained for, I don't know, 95% of the day.
God.
Even though she was in the sidecar and she had her rain gear on, she was pretty comfortable. Mm-hmm. It wasn't cold, it was the middle of July, so it wasn't, or middle of June, it wasn't that cold, but just the constant driving rain all day long.
Yeah.
And then she got it down the back of her pants and it was over. She was 10 years old at the time and she was just not having any of that shit for the rest of the day. So that's the only time she's ever complained. Although now she's 16 and, she takes a little better care of her hair and she wears a little bit of makeup and she's not that into the motorcycle stuff anymore.
She doesn't want the helmet hair.
The helmet hair, exactly. I'm hoping that'll turn around in a couple years. We'll see.
Well, you just if she's 12 and you got a couple of years before she's like, hey, Dad, when I get my car license, I can get a motorcycle license too.
Yeah, actually she's 16 now. She's learning how to drive. She's doing a pretty good job. She's very conscientious. Like every other 16-year-old that just finished driver's ed, she knows everything. Single one of the damn rules and calls me out on all of the shit that I do wrong, which is fantastic, but she said originally she wanted to get her motorcycle license. I was like, let's get your car license first. Keep your car license for a year and then we'll go take the MSF class.
As you know, motorcycles are dangerous.
Yeah. Well, I've discovered that riding motorcycles makes me a better car driver.
Yeah.
So I want her to have the experience of being in the car where she's protected and she can, hopefully not make terrible mistakes, but make some mistakes first because that's the thing about motorcycles is they're kind of unforgiving of dumbass mistakes when you're riding down the road.
That is a fact.
So, I got her a little beat up Toyota pickup truck, plenty of crush space. It'll only go 60 miles an hour downhill with a tailwind.
I know
manual
this truck.
transmission.
I've driven this truck. Oh God, you got her the one with a manual transmission and like the 4-foot clutch lever movement and the 12-foot throw on the, like she's using 2 hands to throw the damn shifter.
You could have just got her a Ural.
Well, and I thought about that too. Because I'm a little big for a Ural. I feel like when I get on a Ural, the sidecar comes up off the ground immediately. I have to put ballast in it. But I feel like she could handle a Ural pretty easily, especially if it's her first motorcycle. Cause, I like the idea of the Ural, but they're so narrow compared to my sidecar rig. I have a hard time controlling a Ural.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't realize how narrow they are until you ride them. Chuck rode my Bandit. And I was like, the Bandit car comes up easy. And you were like, sticks to the road.
Yeah. Well, when you guys mentioned Claude Stanley, at various times throughout your show. And he's the guy that assembled my rig. He did a fantastic job because I bought all the parts used. I got the bike used. I got the tub used and took him to him in Pennsylvania to get it assembled. And, I took him the side case on the right side of the bike and said, all I care about, I don't want to open it, but I want to be able to get it on and off the bike with the sidecar in place. So my rig is 72 inches wide.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I got to really work to get the tub up in the air, even more so with a passenger. But that translates to some really hellacious straight line stability.
Oh, yeah.
One of the dreams I have is to take this thing to Bonneville just to see how fast I can go and not worry about getting a ticket. You know? It won't be impressive to anybody out there. It'll be, what the hell is this guy doing with this giant, you know?
It'll be impressive to the shithead on the Bandit next to you.
There you go. There you go. But I had a Bandit too. I had a 99 Suzuki Bandit that I rode across the country. I rode it all the way from basically Washington DC to Crater Lake, Oregon via San Francisco. I rode it all the way out there to wreck it. And then had it shipped all the way back home so it could be totaled. That was a really fantastic experience.
Oh, wow.
But I still dream about that bike sometime because it was such an awesome, it was like the pinnacle of the UJM. You know,
it
just
literally is.
Yeah, exactly. And even with carburetors, it was just an amazing motorcycle. At the point that I'd had it, I'd never owned a fuel injected bike yet. I hadn't owned my first BMW yet. And I just, that bike would go anywhere. It would do anything. It would, even with the one with the fairing, it didn't look goofy. You know, it had tons of power. It was a really, really great bike. And, I've been eyeballing, I'm not going to lie, I've been eyeballing Craigslist looking at the 1250S lately because they're cheap. Mm-hmm. They're real cheap.
They're real cheap. And that's definitely crossed my mind as well. Cause the niceness of the Bandit engine with a little fuel. Yeah, fuel injection. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And they put ABS on them, which makes you feel like you're safer than you really are.
Oh, but the fucking Gen 2 brakes. Oh, the 6-piston calipers in the front on both sides. So good.
6-piston calipers.
On each side.
It's crazy.
So good. I am ruined for life.
Do they even make that bike anymore?
No.
Of course not.
No, not the 1200. No. Fuck no. No, they stopped. When they made the 1250, they stopped doing the 1200. Because, keep in mind, a 1250 is nothing but Chuck's Hayabusa minus a Honda Metropolitan.
Okay.
You subtract a Metropolitan from the Busa and you have a 1250 Bandit.
There you go. Oh, that hurts just a little bit. But I always wonder, and it's kind of funny, you asked me about working for the MOA and a lot of the guys and women too, although the women seem to be a little less, what's the word I'm looking for?
Irritating.
Bitchy.
About this particular thing. Women seem to accept it a little bit more. They look at you funny if you roll up to a BMW event on anything but a BMW, and they get a little snide. And I'm not saying they're not justified because, it's a BMW event. They expect you to show up on a BMW, but, I don't know. There's so many other motorcycles out there.
Wait.
So, there I am. I'm at the BMW dealership. The 800s have just, and I mean like months ago, come out. I parked the Strum next to the BMW dealership. Chuck and I go and look inside, and they talk to me and try to offer me test rides and everything and ignore Chuck.
As they do.
As they do.
And I come outside, and there are 3 people standing around my bike, and they're like, oh, my God, is this the new 800? I'm like, pregnant pause. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. How is it? Is it good? I'm like, man, this thing is great. It's smooth. It's so reliable. You'd think it was Japanese. Because, of course, I have BMW roundels on my Strom because I'm an asshole.
I like your style. Is that the Strom that you just destroyed the engine on?
Yes, that is the Strom. The engine is fully fucked. I have checked.
How did you pick at that? I'm sorry if that's.
You know what? It's cool. It's cool because I just bought a Vespa, and I've never had a bike with a pet carrier before, so this is exciting.
I can't figure out if you're kidding or not.
He's not.
So let me tell you a little bit about Vespa. Apart from the fact that this is the quote-unquote fast Vespa making 221 horsepower. That's 2 and then a 1.
Right.
When you open the seat with the electric seat opener, yes, I have an electric seat opener.
Of course you do.
BMW guys.
Wait, how
take that BMW. You push a button and the fucking seat opens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it close?
Eat, read them and weep, BMW.
Do you push a button and it closes?
You just have to close it with your hand.
Oh.
Like a peasant.
Rip off.
So.
BMW will improve that.
Yep. So under there's this tub, and it's like a plastic tub that basically fits in the frame, because Vespas are the unibody frame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically like a big tub that fits in. And at the front of it, big red and yellow sticker, it says, no pets.
Under the seat.
Under the seat.
They feel like they have to tell you that.
Well, here's the thing that
Someone has done it.
Exactly.
Someone has to have done it.
So naturally, what is the vast array of assholes online immediately name this underseat storage?
The pet carrier.
The pet carrier. So
Yeah,
it's the pet carrier, now and for all time.
Or
can you fit a helmet in it? They always say, storage, blah, 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 fits one full face helmet.
Okay, scooter riders, close your ears. Real helmets, no. Scooter rider helmets or Harley helmets, yes.
Gotcha. So the little skid lids, the half helmets,
The
they'll fit in
so-called
there.
helmets do not fit. My daughter's helmet would probably, maybe.
I'm picturing Vespas with like holes drilled in the sides for air for the dog.
Whatever.
Maybe a little window.
They're Vespa riders. They're not monsters.
You see, the thing that blows my mind is if you have a purse dog on a Vespa, why would you put it under the seat? You could clearly put it in a bag right in front of you behind the front cowling.
That
Absolutely.
takes effort. You already have the pet carrier right there.
That's true. And you don't have to, you just have to push the button to get into the pet carrier, right?
Sometimes you're just like, you're in a hurry, you grab toodles, you gotta get to the beauty salon. Yeah. It's only a 2-minute ride. Dog will be fine.
Dog will be fine.
Oh no, Fifi!
Stuff it in there. It'll be fine. It's cool.
Well, you do have to figure out how hot it gets under there in the sun to determine whether or not you can leave the dog in there.
Right.
Well, that's the nice thing. If there's no windows, no one will see it.
Yeah, right there in the sun, directly on top of the engine. There's no chance in hell.
No one will know the dog's even in there.
Nah.
No. Well, does an engine that small actually generate heat?
This one is liquid cooled. So, yes.
Of course it is. So,
is that liquid beer that you pour on it, or is it
wine, of course. But the fuck, no, you can, so in winter you need to use a Pinot Noir. In the summer you could use a Zin, which is really, let's be honest, the only thing that Zinfandel is actually good for is using as coolant, not for drinking.
I drink wine from a box.
I once used wine to cook. That's about it. I've never.
You're
never
not ready
really,
for Vespas, Chuck.
No. Well, I'm really curious to find out because you're obviously. I don't want to say you're a man, but
I don't want to say that either.
That came out wrong. I don't want to say it like men don't ride scooters. Mm-hmm. What I want to say is you're obviously experienced. You've had a lot of motorcycles. You like motorcycles. Mm-hmm. Other than expediency, how did you buy a Vespa on purpose for your own use?
Hey, this is our podcast. What are you doing?
I'm just curious.
He's interviewing us.
He can't help himself. It doesn't turn off. He's podcasting all the time. He's in bed with his wife. He's like, so tell me, honey, how are things going? He's like, stop interviewing me.
Get that microphone out of my face.
How'd you get your start here in the bed?
So how long have you been in this house for? You moved in with me. So how was school today? Tell me all about it. Dad, why do you have the microphone in front of me? You're so lame. God, I'm going to go buy a Civic with a fart tube. Just to rebel.
That'll make a great podcast fodder. Let's go do that.
Well, I am genuinely curious because I've never owned a scooter, and I've never really thought seriously about owning one, just because it's just literally never crossed my realm of consciousness. I got nothing against scooter riders. I mean, obviously, I'm still talking to you, but yeah, for now. But I'm curious how you make the transition from riding motorcycles to riding a Vespa.
So as a reminder to listeners, scooters are motorcycles with automatic transmissions and a step-through middle. So the reason I made the transition to this particular Vespa is, first of all, is a screaming deal. As soon as all of my motorcycle friends knew that I was without motorcycle, everyone's like falling all over themselves to get me back on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
Yeah, Chuck tried to throw Sprint at me. It was on fire at the time, but so I ducked. So my friend Meryl had this scooter in her garage, and now I've ridden this exact scooter before, and I rode it actually up. There's a road that goes up to the ski jumps up in Park City, and she's like, "Give it a try." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, go take it out for a rip." I rode this thing up the road to the ski jumps and had it over far enough that like it was almost scraping the edge of the floorboards around the corners up to the ski jumps. This thing is really fun. It's the quote unquote modern quote unquote big Vespa. So it's got like 12-inch wheels.
Right.
So it's
it's what, a 250 cc's or something like that?
This is the 200.
Okay.
But even so, then 250 makes like 22 horsepower to 21 this makes, so whatever. But it's remarkably fun. It's also for me, like, if I go 50 miles an hour in my commute, it's a goddamn miracle. The Bandit gets into third gear mostly for fuel efficiency purposes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you have to deal with driveline lash and all that kind of pain in the ass stuff where, if you hop on the scooter to go to work, you don't have to shift, you don't have to mess around. You're by the time you get to work, your left forearm isn't, in agony from sitting in traffic. I think it's a great idea. Yeah.
There's that tense moment on any sidecar, even the really powerful ones where you're launching from a red light and you're like, don't stop. Here we go.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately physics sucks.
You can do a wheelie on a scooter and not really hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Including yourself.
I don't think I'd do that.
I'm not sure if it was a challenge or not.
But yeah, it's honestly two things. Is it's a smoking deal, and any two-wheeler I have is basically a commuter vehicle. And
right.
You can't beat a scooter for a commuter vehicle. It holds 2 gallons of gas, and that will take me almost 200 miles.
Mm-hmm. No kidding.
So,
I want to get one of those electric kick scooters. Like the Limes and the Birds.
The ones that are all over the freaking town now in piles.
God, I love them. I love it so much.
Chuck, we have a Wheelnerd's test ride in our future.
Oh yeah, we totally have to.
In Aero Stitches.
Sure.
Full you have to do it in a stitch. You have to do it in a stitch.
Full gear.
Which, by the way, I have an old stitch that I'm willing to donate just to find out how flammable they are.
What?
It didn't belong to me. It was donated in a gear drive. It's a little messed up. It needs some work. So nobody's ever really wanted. I haven't been able to give this thing away for 10 years. I've been carrying this thing. I moved 3 times and it's still in the same tub that it was in the day I brought it home from the gear drive. But you were wondering about the flammability of Aero Stitches. I'm willing to take one for the team
for science
and science, exactly science, and find out not only how long does it take to catch one on fire, but once it's on fire, how long will it take it to burn to a crisp into ashes on the ground? Because otherwise you're just playing. If there's no experiment to it, you're just having fun.
Huh. Okay then.
I find this experiment unsettling.
Does one of us have to be in the stitch the whole time?
Oh, now there's a twist I hadn't thought about. That's a really good idea. I think we just got to volunteer for that.
Chuck, well, it has been on fire.
I have been on fire.
Okay, more than once?
So I'm gonna turn the interview around on you because I know how we got into podcasting. How did you get into podcasting about motorcycles? Because it's not the kind of thing that you do for the fame and fortune.
No, there's no fortune in it at all, and no fame. Do you want me to give you the serious answer, or do you want me to play along?
A little both.
A little of both. Well, to be perfectly honest, I started listening to podcasts just a couple years ago, and I listened to newsy stuff because I was in a business that dealt with news, and I needed to be up on the news and to know what was going on.
Who's going to sue us today?
No.
NSA.
It was a legit front company. And I'm sorry, did I say that a lot? So, and then one day, I don't remember how it happened, but I stumbled across, what's the name of it? Now I'm not going to remember. They don't do it anymore.
The Pace.
Langley.
No, it was a couple of guys, not terribly unlike yourselves, talking about motorcycles. They weren't particularly funny. They weren't particularly on top of what was going on in the industry, but they were talking about motorcycles. So I started looking around for more podcasts about motorcycles. And I listened to a bunch of different ones. I tried some. I liked some. I didn't like some. But I didn't really feel like anybody was talking about the industry. And that's what I really wanted, because I'm a big news junkie. So I wanted news. I wanted somebody to be talking to the people that, you know, build stuff, that do stuff, that go places, that, you know, all that kind of the stuff that I find really interesting. I always read, you know, in a motorcycle magazine, you got those 3 or 4 pages that are all the little news articles. Those are the ones I read first. I don't read the fun columns or the gear reviews first. I read the news pieces first. So I was looking for a podcast that did that, and I couldn't find one that really fit that niche for me.
Sure, that focus.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just decided, you know what? I bet I could do a podcast. Yeah. You know, through my
I'm
band.
a trained monkey. I can do this.
I can fog mirrors.
Through my
podcasting.
Through all my experience in bands, I've recorded albums, I've produced albums for my bands and for other bands. So I think the big hurdle for a lot of people is trying to figure out how to record and edit and stitch it together. That's really intimidating if you've never done it.
I had to go to film school.
There you go. For 10 years, probably, just to, you know, be able to.
No, I only did 2 before they kicked me out.
They keep you.
So I had to go through with Todd saying, I'm not going to edit.
I have a baby. I can't sleep. What's happening? Who are you? Is my name Todd?
So I wasn't even remotely intimidated by the editing part. The hard part for me was finding people to talk to. But luckily, I've got this job with the MOA. And hey, guess what? They have advertisers and they have vendors and they have people that come to the rally to sell their stuff. So I just started making phone calls and sending emails, and
I can get you exposure to as many as 10 people. Well, now, in fairness, it's the same 10 people you got from the other podcasts that do motorcycles, but they're those 10 people. Boy, I'll tell you what.
They're all MOA members, so that means they've got money.
Yeah, exactly. Except I didn't really say that, you know, because nobody at the MOA had any experience with a podcast. As a matter of fact, I had to explain what a podcast even was to some people.
Yeah, we can't get them to return calls. They're like huh? We're like, you know what? Never mind.
So,
it's because Wes was interfering. He's like,
that's right.
I'm not letting any other podcasts in on my territory.
That's my podcast dollar. That one right there.
I put my finger on that scale and I'm ruining you guys secretly behind the scenes. But yeah, so that's kind of the reason I got into podcasting, is because I couldn't find the podcast that I wanted to listen to. So I just decided to start doing it.
That sounds hauntingly familiar.
Is that's pretty much how you guys got into it?
Yeah, we got into it partly because Chuck and I are giant idiots, but the two of us together have a thing.
We're idiots together.
Yes.
Idiots together.
We're like an idiot duo. And people were like, you get you two together, and it's like, man, instant entertainment. We're like, huh.
There's money to be made in podcasts, we said at one point in time.
At one point in time, and then you discovered it's only about 38 cents.
Taco.
Well, I mean, clearly it's not stopping you guys from getting on with your lives. I mean, there's babies, there's Vespas, there's sidecar rigs involved. Mm-hmm. It sounds like there are one or more wives between the two of you.
Well, we are in Utah.
I wasn't going to say it. Which is, you know, it's kind of funny that you talk about, well, pretty much anything I ride is for commuting, because, you know, where I live, almost to the Atlantic Ocean, people here talk about going to Utah to see the sights. You know, that's a big destination for motorcycle riders from the East Coast. I'm going to go to Zion. I'm going to go to, you know, whatever the 85 other national parks there are.
Mm-hmm.
Todd's always busy. Otherwise, we used to do ridings like every weekend. We'd go out and just blitz around.
Yeah, until your kid was my kid's age.
Now he's busy.
Now he's busy
doing stuff.
Babies are so much work.
Babies are hard.
There's so much work.
So how's your baby?
I got a 3 and a 5, and they're great. And the 5-year-old has just moved into the sidecar like it's hers.
Nice. Is the little one out of diapers yet?
We're working on it.
We're working on it. That's once they get out of diapers, your whole world changes. You know this because, well, by the time your older one was out of diapers, you had the younger one, so you kind of screwed yourself on that. But at least you didn't extend it. You know, you didn't have like one out of diapers and then have the next baby and have to do diapers all over again.
Oh yeah.
But once that's the two big milestones, right? When they first start sleeping through the night, and you get some semblance of sanity back, and then when they don't have to wear diapers all the time anymore, and you can almost do whatever you want anytime you want. I mean, you might have to take a kid with you, but your whole life changes all over again.
Stick the kid in a pet carrier on the Vespa and you're fine.
Exactly. Well, that's exciting. I'm kind of excited for you to be, growing up with two little kids. That's very exciting.
I just have one 10-year-old.
Yeah,
Have you noticed that you're more wrong lately?
Huh?
Have you noticed you're more wrong lately?
No, she's actually gotten way, more on my vibe.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, no, I haven't gotten to be the uncool dad yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm still
Wait for
cool
a couple
dad.
years. It'll come back.
Yeah, I'm sure once she hits 13 or something.
Yeah. Well, and listen, don't tell him I told you this, but just stick with the one. Right? Because two is okay. 2, you can still go man to man on him, right? 3, you got to switch to a zone defense. You're completely screwed. And more than 3, you need a job pays $100,000 a year just to get by.
More than 3 and you get a series on TLC.
Only if you're from Utah.
I just can't. There's a family here in the neighborhood who has a, those commuter vans that they
Yes.
have. Yeah. They have one of those to put children in.
There's several people at my work with 10 kids.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't want to belabor the point, but Utah.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Yeah. But having kids is a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun too, because you can kind of teach them all the cool things that you wish you'd known when you were little. Even if it's just, how to shotgun a beer, how to properly smoke a cigar or whatever. You can't tell your wife you're doing any of this stuff.
This is how you smoke crack, kids.
I don't know if I
like this. Get the little
But-
torch.
They're tiny little sponges, and they just soak up all this stuff that you do that you think is cool, and you can kind of get them doing those things, which means you have somebody to do those things with.
Mm-hmm.
Provided you take the proper safety precautions. You don't want to take your kid to a Black Sabbath concert with no earplugs.
Oh, damn. Hey, when your kids were smaller, how many kids do you have? 1, 2?
I have 2 kids, but they're 11 years apart, and one of them never lived with me.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
Since you work for BMW MOA, when your children were small, did anyone ever get you that tiny R1200 GS, the little electric driven one that the kids can ride?
No, that didn't happen.
That's bullshit.
It is, but my daughter was born after I converted to BMW, so she's only ever been around BMWs.
Oh, okay. So she's like those kids who've been indoctrinated, from an early age into weird religions.
So she's
Only
always
yeah.
looking for the menu button to push on
Mhm.
things.
She's like, Dad, this motorcycle doesn't have a menu button.
Well, she's like a wizard with her smartphone. I wouldn't know if I put her on an Airhead. I don't know what she'd do. I don't know if she'd be able to control it properly. She needs to be on, one of those TFT screened, mega wizard bikes, and she'd probably have no trouble with it at all.
Like the KTM Super Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is a wonderful bike. Have you ridden one?
I have not ridden one. I've just seen them. I've just seen them and touched them and had the KTM representative say he does not want to answer questions about it to me.
Oh, well, wait until he
Stop
fucking meets
licking
me.
that motorcycle. Well, if you ever get a chance to ride one, my advice to you is not to take your checkbook with you, not to have a credit card with a high limit, because you ride one of those 1290s and you're going to have to go home on one. They're absolutely amazing.
Wes, what do you have right now in your stable?
Right now I have my K1200 RS sidecar rig. That's the BMW with the pancake horizontal flat 4-cylinder engine that puts all the valves on the left side. And then I have an R1200 GS. I'm one of those guys, with the GS, although I do not go to Starbucks.
Nice.
So
Misdirection.
cut me a little bit of slack. Yeah. And I've got a KTM 990 Adventure that I'm probably going to get rid of next year when that Indian FTR 1200 comes out.
And so they can fight Harley, and you can finally get away from the Germans and the Austrians. Try to speak English for once in your worthless motorcycling life.
Well, I've only ever owned one V-twin motorcycle in my life. It was a Honda Shadow. I had a bad experience on it. A 78-year-old woman ran over me while I was riding that poor bike. Yeah, it was really unpleasant. Not as unpleasant as I imagined catching on fire would be. But it was pretty unpleasant.
Catching on fire was pretty nice. I didn't feel
okay.
I didn't feel a thing.
How do you catch on fire and not feel a thing?
Go fast.
Outrun the fire.
Okay, there you go. Was your bike on fire?
Well, the side case.
And his underwear.
And my underwear.
Chuck's underwear can never survive a trip.
And my pants.
How did your side case catch on fire?
Well, listeners should enjoy the episode, but it turns out that brace yourself for surprise. The exhaust gas temperature of a turbocharged motorcycle is higher than normal.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the pipe just sort of melted its way into the side case and lit everything inside on fire.
Oh my goodness. That must have been frightening.
Like I said, I had no idea.
Right. All the flames were behind you.
The person had to pull up next to me and wave me gently to the side.
Pardon me, sir. Have you noticed that you're on fire? Why, no, I didn't.
I thought she had to pee.
And she had to tell you on the motorcycle, excuse me, but I've got to go to the bathroom. That seems perfectly reasonable.
It wasn't until I pulled over and stopped. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of black smoke everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But so it's been a long time since I had a V-twin, and I want to try a V-twin, but I'm not really a cruiser guy. So, and I'm not going to buy a Pan America because,
wait a minute, isn't the 990 Adventure an L-twin?
It is an L-twin, and it's a good bike, but I've discovered over the nearly year of owning it and almost 8 months of being able to ride it that it was a neglected bike when I got it. It needed some work. But it's not my bike. It's just not the right bike for me.
It needs a menu button.
And it's like one of those, there's no computer on it. There's no cup holder. It doesn't know how to get to Starbucks.
Does it have a power pet carrier?
It does not have a power pet carrier, as a matter of fact. Yeah, but it has all the cool stuff like ABS. As a matter of fact, I take that back. That's about the only thing it has is ABS and fuel injection. Other than that, the bike could be 50 years old.
I'm so sorry.
It's a cool bike. I dig the look. I think it's a really good tool for people that want to use it the way it's meant to be used. I am just not that guy.
This is cool.
I have that dream of being the off-road rider with tons of skill that looks awesome standing up and power sliding into a turn on the side of a mountain. And I'm not that guy. I just came to the realization I'm not that guy. Right about the same time I realized I'm really not a camper either. And if you really ride an adventure bike the way it's meant to be ridden, you have to camp. And I hate camping. So.
Well, now Todd's broken.
It's unfortunate.
You hate.
I'm sorry, Todd.
But
and they still let you be in the MOA?
I know.
Is that allowed? No. He's got a touring bike, so he's probably okay.
Yeah, I'm okay. But yeah, no, I used to camp when I was a kid. When I was in Boy Scouts, the first probably 10 or 12 years that I rode motorcycles, I camped a lot. And then I got hit by a car, and it mangled up my leg, and it kind of damaged my knees and my hips and tweaked my back really good. And camping isn't fun anymore. Waking up in the morning and having to get up off the ground, it's just, I don't enjoy it at all. So it's probably been 20 years since I went camping. but I don't miss it. I really don't miss it. Hotels are nice. And
Hotels have other people sleeping in them.
Not at the same time as you in the same bed, unless you want them there. And sometimes that just costs extra.
Sometimes. But, the great thing about motorcycle gear is, if it's waterproof, then it's, protects you against other fluids. So
you can sleep in your sleeping bag.
Sleep on top
of the bed in my air stitch.
Yeah. Or hang
in your air stitch. That's right.
Across the room. That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened.
So I wanted to do something before we let Wes go.
Okay.
We have a listener that sent us an email, and Wes, I forwarded that to you.
Oh God, the list.
I did.
You did. Let me look at my email here.
This listener wants to buy a dual sport bike and sent us promptly the list of all the dual sport bikes ever made and wants an opinion on them because apparently
they're not all dual sports. I mean, it's basically a list of starter bikes because he's got a Grom on here.
Yeah.
So he's got a list of new bikes on the cheaper end that he's compiled. Well, let's go to his email. So Edward writes, I am looking to get my first motorcycle. I really like the styling of a dual sport. Mm-hmm. I really do not like the looks of the sport bikes. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what a good bike to learn on is. I have a friend who had a Q-Link Sapero.
Yeah.
And he crashed on it and has not been on the back, so he wants to get something smaller, whatever. So he's got this list of bikes that he has sent us, and I've forwarded to you, and he would like to know our opinions about them, except for the RPS Chinese bikes, which he's already kind of ruled out.
Because they're Chinese and fuck that noise.
And he wants to buy a new bike.
I got to agree. This is a really...
I know. This is like some efficiency expert.
This was a person who looked up nerd in podcasts and thought we were something different.
Mm-hmm. There you go. But, just looking at this list, I mean, without even looking at the details, this guy belongs on a BMW.
Yeah, just by the sheer amount of carefulness and data.
Of data, But in all seriousness, let me look at the list. I wouldn't get a Grom because I'm 6'2", and over 300 pounds. So I would just
sit on all these bikes.
Yeah, and see if they actually fit.
Which one?
Go put your ass on the bike and see if it fits you.
Because there's a world of difference between a Grom and like a G310 GS.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, he's put the seat height, and its weight and stuff, but I mean, you got to go sit on these things first.
You 100% have to sit on.
If you can get a test ride,
so much the better.
Yeah, or find someone.
Yeah. And that was my mistake with the 990. I bought it from a friend who needed to get rid of it, and I did not sit on it first. I didn't sit on any of them first. I'm like, oh, it's a 990 Adventure. It's an adventure bike. I'll be fine. And I mean, I don't even. These are all tiny bikes.
Small. They're teeny tiny.
What's a WR250R? Is that a dirt bike? Okay. That's an expensive dirt bike. $6,800, $6,700 for a dirt bike.
Listener Edward. A, put your ass on the bikes. B, for your first bike, do not fucking buy a new bike. Find something that runs well and is pre-disaster.
Yeah, I always point to, buy a used Ninja 250.
Yeah.
Drop $2,000 on that. Then you won't cry when you drop it on the ground.
And if you're not into that, you buy a Nighthawk or you buy a TU 250 or a shitbag dual sport dirt bike.
But a Ninja 250 is barely a sport bike.
Barely.
I mean, it's a standard riding position.
It looks vaguely sport bikey.
It looks sport. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the look. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to hang out with the kickstand club, you got to have the Ninja 250. You can't go hang out with a kickstand club on a freaking Grom.
A Rebel you could get pretty cheap. I would not want to buy a new one as my first bike.
Nah.
No, let somebody else take the hit, both on the cost and on the crying after they damage it the first time.
I'm going to have it a year or two at
most. Yeah, a couple of years, and you unload it.
Flip it for something else.
Well, if you buy a used one, you could flip it for the same amount you bought it for.
Yeah, pretty much.
Part of the reason I bought the Vespa is I know that I could probably flip the Vespa in a year or two for the same I bought it for.
That's brilliant. That's just good economic sense right there. That's how you keep your wallet happy and your wife happy, and you still get to ride a motorcycle.
Carry cats on.
But only in the under seat pet carrier.
Places for that. Oh, you don't have those on BMWs? Oh, huh. It's okay.
No.
It's not a contest.
If you have,
Somewhere in a lab in Germany, someone has perfected.
At last,
push the button, and all the side cases and top cases and tank cases open at once with lights.
At last, we can put the kitties into these side cases. Hey, that's not the kitty. That has a mask. Oh no!
I have a friend who I will not embarrass by saying her name on the air, Tina Baker, who had a pet carrier modified to fit on the back of her motorcycle where you would put a trunk, and she carried her dog around for thousands of miles in that thing, put little dog goggles on him, and carried him around for thousands of miles. He loved.
I've got a case that I'm thinking of just cutting a hole right in the top so I could do that.
It worked, and it was awesome. And hers was
judge people.
Does he judge you? Is he one of those? I've never had a dog, because I've always been, I've been married for, 23 years, and my wife is a cat person. So we've had cats, always cats, and cats are just assholes. I fully believe that, but so I never lived with dogs, but they have those eyes, and I just feel like they're very judgy eyes.
I'll be making sweet, sweet love to my wife, and I'll look off to the side, and there's those little brown eyes looking at me.
You know, they do have doors that close.
And he points two little fingers of his paw at his eyes, and then at my eyes, and then back at his eyes. It's really creepy.
Does he howl when your wife?
No,
that's a personal
quiet.
question. I don't really feel comfortable.
He grumbles.
Anyway, back to the listener's question. Go sit on the bikes. See what has the pet carrier that you like best.
His dream is to take a minimalist cross-country road trip.
Minimalist cross-country.
Well, I think we should definitely direct him to first trip on the Trans-America Trail. I mean, if you're gonna go big.
Well, I'm trying to come up with a world in which I can, in good conscience, recommend that.
I was just going to say,
go for it. It'll be great.
I would just be looking at
there will be no crying
at the 250s,
or
something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. A 250 is big enough to go on roads with some traffic. Maybe not I-40, but surface streets that have some cross traffic and some cars going the same direction you are. And you can kind of keep up with that traffic for a while, but they're light. They're very minimalist if that's what you're into, I think a 250 is a good place for him to look, but you're 100% correct. You got to sit on him and get a used one.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he does a pair of Groms on a cross-country trip, that could be a funny YouTube series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
I'm also going to suggest to Edward, you should seriously take a look at Andrew Payne's book if you haven't already, because he literally wrote the freaking book about what you're describing.
Yeah, look up Andrew Payne.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you know Andrew was on my show?
Well,
Andrew's been on our show too.
Twice.
I've met Andrew.
It's not a contest.
I've hung out with him.
I proofread his book.
I haven't met him.
Not that it's a contest.
He's a really nice guy.
I hung out with him. Did I mention that? Him and I are.
You may have mentioned
personal friends. We're
tight. Here it goes.
Yeah, we're tight. Hey, did you know I'm close personal friends with Eric Buell? We're tight.
I did not know that.
We stood underneath a full moon naked one night and cut our palms and did like a blood oath.
I'm 99.9% sure that shit didn't happen.
Bond. We're tight. Super. His secret godfather to his child.
It was at that point that the phone was hung up. Click.
Yeah. So I was going to ask, when you parted, did you steal all his technology away from him so that you ensured the failure of his business yet again?
I didn't have to steal his technology for that to happen. All I had to do was say, I want to buy this SX. Here's my deposit. And they closed a week later.
Yeah. You chucked him right out of business.
I chucked him out of business.
So, Edward, sit on the bikes. Go read Payne's book. Find the one that works for you, because the one that you're comfortable on all the rest of the shit, and there's going to be 1,000 people online with a really good opinion. The one that's comfortable for you is the one you can actually take a trip on.
The one that you look forward to riding.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is the one you want.
Yeah.
Don't get it new for your first year.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can finance a used bike through your local bank credit union. So if it's a financing thing, that's your problem. You can go local and you can find someone who'll finance it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're usually pretty cool about it as long as the bike is, less than 5 years old or something like that. They have rules, but yeah, you can finance a used bike. I did it.
Leave me alone for fucking anything. I'm like, I need to buy a lot of tacos. You want one? I've been doing business with them for like over a decade, so
They like you.
I smell like money.
They love you.
They are probably the only people in the world you smell like money too.
I think so. They have realistic expectations.
Well, the only way to change their expectations is to take the loan and then not pay them back, and then maybe they'll learn.
There's your pro tip for the.
Don't pay back loans, kids.
So Wes, where can people go to listen to more Wes if they want more Wes?
If they want more, Wes, they can go to.
So no one can find it. But go ahead and say
proceed by all means,
just for fun.
Oh, that's I would expect nothing less. They can go to chasing the. That was a really good beep noise. Yeah, I can tell. They can go to chasingthehorizon.us.
And then you also have a YouTube series where you actually work on bikes as well, right?
Yeah, that it's German words, Nicht Uber Max.
Nicht Uber Max.
And it came off a dipstick from an airhead, which is an airhead. Do you know what an airhead is?
I've dated a few.
Okay. Well, not everybody does. It's a specific
era of BMW.
A specific time frame of BMW motorcycle.
God, I could feel the
it came off the oil dipstick of an airhead, and it was the top line. Don't put more oil than this in it, Nicht Uber Max. And so I used to work part-time at a BMW shop, and that was, where it all got started. And, that was just my kind of half-assed attempt at doing a tech video for an article that I wrote. And then I got a couple more questions about stuff. And I buy used bikes that have been wrecked and are kind of crappy. And so there's always something to do. And I thought,
looking at me right
if I can screw something up. Is he giving you the same two-finger thing that his dog does?
It's like that. Buy crappy bikes that don't quite work. Yeah, go on. Proceed.
Yeah. And then I like doing the videos and, I have fun because I learn stuff as I'm going along, and I figure if I can learn stuff and keep people from screwing up the same things I screwed up, then, I've done something positive for the world, and it might be the only positive thing I ever do. So why not throw it out there on the internet?
Go and check out Wes's videos so you can screw up new and novel stuff. Wes, thanks so much for being on with us, man.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Hopefully we'll get to hook up with you in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited about it this year. Well, if you're, like I said, if you're going to play, play.
I can't wait.
It's 2018. What the hell?
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Well, he's much hipper than us.
I'm getting that. Even if he does work for the BMW moi.
You mean the CIA?
The moi.
The NSA?
Moi.
The DLC?
Moi.
The TSFA?
Moi.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm a member
of
Benoit.
You're a moi?
I have a card.
Oh. Okay.
They send me a magazine every month.
Oh, well.
That's how I remember
the Sidecar Association does too. But
I've got their panic book too.
Oh.
From the moi.
The Benoit panic book?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it's all these people with no information listed saying, don't contact me.
Fuck off and die. The sidecars are all like, yeah, you can crash in my yard. Can we talk about sidecars? Yes. Excellent.
Their BMWs was like, I'm sorry, you can't make it past the gate to my community.
Yeah.
So
give me a call and I will give you the temporary gardener's code.
My HOA doesn't allow me to have
no.
that
No, I'm very sorry.
We need a certain class of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry.
Yes.
You're brownish. If you walk around with these hedge clippers, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, just hold this. This is a weed whacker. Just
don't talk to anybody. Don't tell them you're with me.
And put this hat on.
Okay. That's perfect.
Excellent.
Do that.
This will go great.
Do that all weekend long.
Angry calls. Go. Which is funny because the BMW people think they're so cool. When's the last time you saw a BMW with a pet carrier?
It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put one on GS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a judgy little schnazzer with me.
Mm-hmm.
He already has goggles.
Sure. Yeah.
He's been in the Euro.
Yeah.
I'm going to give him a little white scarf.
Yep.
Call him the Red Bear.
Naturally. Naturally.
Speaking of white scarves,
mm-hmm.
I am taking part in the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride this year.
Oh, neat. That's the one where you dress up like fancy and old-timey and ride around, I'm assuming, the Ural.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, they actually have bike restrictions. You can't just show up on any bike you want.
Really?
It actually has to fit one of their categories.
Oh, okay.
And the Ural fits.
Gotcha. What? Okay, now I have to ask, what are the categories?
Stuff like cafe, bobber, old school chopper.
Mm-hmm.
I think the modern classics from Triumph count.
It has to be vintagey looking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can't pull up on the Busa and be like, let's go.
I can't just slide sideways in the Bandit and be like, bitches!
Correct.
Okay. I mean, it's not like they can stop me. Hey, stop. I'm going to run away. And they're going to try to catch me and they're going to be like,
Sir, there will be fisticuffs. Forward-facing fisticuffs.
Do you see the kanji? You know that means I know kung fu.
That's not what.
That clearly says knows kung fu on it.
No, it says knows kung fu because you have quite prominent schnauzer, sir. Your schnoz is impressive.
Mm-hmm. Knows kung fu
and could possibly cut through the waves like a good bow spirit thing. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the sound your nose makes as it cuts through the air?
No, it basically makes a crunch nose and it bleeds profusely.
The air comes rushing back in.
I don't need to break this fucking nose again. It's already a mess inside.
But yeah, me and my wife will be doing it.
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Apparently I don't have a ride for it.
Vespas, there was a category for Vespas.
It's not a vintage Vespa. It's considered a modern Vespa. But it's vintage-ish.
I sent the link to Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
She said her Vespa did not qualify.
Okay, mine probably doesn't.
Yeah, so they had some kind of clarifier about the Vespas because that was included. Those kind of scooters.
But what if I showed up on an orange Vespa 125 Super Sport with a big P sticker on it and a mysterious triangular thing on the front wheel, and then hit people with a bass which had an inexplicable pull starter on the back? That's vintagey, right? Right?
No.
Would you want to ride that Vespa?
Well, yeah, I'd want to ride it.
Yeah.
But I'm not that discriminating.
Okay, that's fair. True.
And plus, you'll need to dress the part.
Yeah, I don't think I can pull it off.
I was kind of curious about the whole safety thing.
Mm-hmm. That definitely, that's the thing that would spring to my mind is like,
So one thing they do, I notice, is you have to actually register for the ride before you get to see the route.
Sure. Okay.
And the route is actually just all surface streets.
Sure.
There is no freeway involved. It's maybe a 30 to 45 minute ride at the most.
Sure. Well, it's mostly one big long Instagram photo op with sepia tone. If you set your Instagram on your phone to anything but sepia tone, you're kicked out instantly. Instantly. Sir, you need to leave.
I will be wearing a bow tie.
Nice.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah. The best. I think my wife will dress up in clothes she did for our engagement photos.
Okay, let's be honest. Are you going to use a clip-on bow tie or are you actually going to try to tie one?
I'm going to try to tie that fucker.
Get that fucker symmetrical. There is nothing as stupid looking as an asymmetrical bow tie. Straight up.
I will have to practice.
Good plan. You don't want to be that goober.
Or do I? Well, let's face it, I'm kind of that goober in real life.
That's
so.
fair. That's fair. You gotta play it. Go with what you know, right?
Maybe I can get a monocle.
That'd be really hard to ride. Mine's my depth perception. No. Ah! What have you learned this week, Chuck?
I'm a goober.
I have also learned that you're a goober. I've learned that having a safe place to carry your pets is important. That's all we got time for this week. Until next time, I'm Todd.
And I'm a goober.
Ride safe, everybody.
We'll see you next time.
You can contact us at wheelnerds@gmail.com or leave us a message at area code 801-917-4136.
Record an intro for our show of you and your bike, and maybe it'll be on a future show.
Stickers and other merchandise is available at our website, www.wheelnerds.com.
If you use iTunes or Stitcher, please leave a review for us. Hell, write our URL on bathroom walls if it helps.
If you like this podcast, you can find more like it at wheelnerds.com. This has been a Wheelnerds production, all rights reserved. Readings from other sources are the property of their respective owners and are used with satirical intent.
Wait, what?
Are you still recording?
Theoretically, but
It's just running
This is
background.
All right, because this cannot get out. But people who, just to do being responsible
Barnyard Animals.